Yes, boys, hope you're all doing good. Now, today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to actually navigate a relationship properly and what to do when you're actually in a situation with a girl, okay? Because I talk a lot about on my channel, what to actually do to get the girl, how to initially attract the girl, how to do all that stuff, how to, what exactly to do, how to get the girl attracted to you, how to get the girl. But I don't exactly teach you how, or haven't just yet taught you how to sort of navigate the relationship and how to be competent in the relationship, okay? So that's what I'm going to teach you a little bit about today, okay? I'm going to teach you how you can sort of not get cheated on, how to make sure a woman doesn't leave you, how to be the guy that a woman doesn't want to leave because she knows she can't get anyone better, okay? So I'm going to teach you exactly how to do that, because there's a common mistake that many young men make when they get into these relationships and they get into situationships or whatever it is, whatever situation you're in with this girl, okay? There's a lot of mistakes that you make. And I get a lot of young men that come to me and they DM me and they say, oh yeah, no, Sam, I've had this issue, like my girl's cheated on me or she's left me, and like, what do I do now? And I'm like, well, you have to go and become the person that she's not gonna cheat on, okay? That a woman doesn't want to leave. And I know that sounds quite Andrew Tate, but that is kind of how it is, okay? But I'm gonna teach you a little bit about it today. I'm gonna go a little bit more in depth, okay? And talk to you specifically about the mistake that you're making when you get into a relationship with a girl. Okay, so you watch all these YouTube videos, don't you? You watch all these videos. Sometimes you might even pay people, okay, to teach you exactly how to be good with women and whatever, how to get women, okay? And then the issue is, you'll get into a relationship with a girl, okay? You'll get into some kind of situation and you'll kind of stop doing those things that you were doing when you were trying to attract the girl. Because think about it this way, what I don't understand about young men, and trust me, bro, I've been there before, we'll work so hard to get something, okay? And then when we've got it, we think that it's just there and we don't have to work anymore. It's the young men are like, oh yeah, I've got the girl, so I don't need to actually work hard anymore. I've already got her. What do I need to do now? But it's complete. There's now a new challenge, because now you've got to be the man that she actually doesn't want to leave and the man that she wants to stay with, the man that she's not going to cheat on, okay? And that's not going to happen if you stop doing the things that you were doing whilst you were trying to attract her, okay? Doing those things that made her attracted to you. Why would you stop doing them? Because all that's going to happen is she's not going to be attracted to you anymore. The reason she got with you in the first place is because she thought you were attractive. So why would you stop doing the things that were making you attractive to her in the first place? Okay? It's not, whilst, yeah, it's not all about, being some mysterious guy. It's not always about looks when it comes to being in a relationship. You've got to be able to, be a gentleman. You've got to be able to be competent. You've got to be able to be good at life. I understand all that. But you also have to have the other side of you where she can actually have time to think about you. She can fantasize about you, because that's what women are like. That's how women operate. They want to fantasize. Okay, I know that sounds a little bit cringe, it's a little bit like, fucking women self-improvement guru, and I'm not trying to be like that. I'm just saying that side of women that actually does still operate whilst you're in a relationship, okay? She still wants to be able to think about you and stuff. She still wants to be able to have those kind of like weird, like fucking sexual fantasies that they have, all right? And that's just the way it is. So whilst you have to have that side of you that's competent just in life in general, okay, you have to be able to, you want to be able to make money, you have to be able to solve any problems that she may have, okay? She has to be able to come to you and say, I've got this problem, and you can say, it's fine, fix it, I'll fix it, don't worry, fix it. I'm not saying, no, don't say to her, fix it, okay? What I mean is, she comes to you with a problem, you can say, I can fix this issue, it's fine, don't worry about it. You have to be that guy that can do that. And then on the other hand, you have to be that guy that is still a little bit mysterious, and you're still spiking her emotions, so she's got something to be excited about, okay? So, because otherwise you're basically just this boring guy, okay? You've got to be able to sort of trigger both sides of the woman, where you're able to be in a relationship that she knows she's secure in this relationship, but she's also able to fantasize and actually think about you, okay? She knows that you're not always going to be hitting her up every 2 minutes, so you're not boring, not some boring guy that's constantly there, just like, because a lot of young men, they'll get into a relationship and they'll kind of just, they'll spend all their time with this girl, and then they'll play video games, and they'll stop doing the things that they were doing when they were trying to attract the girl. They'll stop going to the gym. They'll stop looking after themselves. They'll stop having a purpose. They'll stop having a mission. And that's the whole reason she was attracted to you in the first place, because you were a man that was self-driven. You had your purpose. You were going to the gym. You were working. You were doing things. You had your own life. And therefore, she knew that you weren't her only option, because that is the actual thing. Women like men who have got actually other options. As much as a lot of women might disagree and say, no, I just want a man that only, wants me. And whilst you're in a relationship, yes, you should only want that woman. But the reason is, you had other women that were interested in you before because you were doing these things like going to the gym. You had your purpose. You were working. You were in good shape. You looked attractive. You were working on all aspects of your life. You were being a well-rounded human being, and that's what made other women and her, therefore, attracted to you in the first place. So why stop doing those things? Why stop doing the things that were actually keeping her attracted to you in the first place, but just whilst you're just because you're in this relationship, you're spending all your time with her, so you're just not polarized at all. You're playing video games. She thinks you're boring. She now thinks that you're just a bit of a loser. And that's why so many men get cheated on, because women have this other side to them, this fantasy side to them. That's why women have celebrity crushes and stuff like that. Because even though they're in a relationship, they're still thinking about other men, whether he's a celebrity or not. Okay? And you don't want your girl to actually be one of those people that's having to literally think about other men because you're some boring guy who can't give her that kind of excitement that she really wants. You have to have both sides when you're in a relationship, okay? You have to have that side that she was attracted to, okay? Be that mysterious guy sometimes. Yeah, I'm not telling you to constantly never be there. I'm not telling you to go and leave and not come back for like a week. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying make sure you have time away so she can miss you, okay? Make sure that you're doing things that actually spike her emotions still. Be an exciting guy, you know? Take her through all sides of the spectrum, all right? Maybe one day you're spending a whole day doing your work, okay? And you don't really speak to her very much and she's a bit like, oh, you know, why is he not speaking to me? And then the next day you take her on a date, you're excited, you spend the whole day with her, okay? You know, she's excited now. You've basically taken her from one spectrum to the other side, okay? One side of the spectrum to the other. That's triggering emotions in her, that's triggering excitement in her, okay? Then, you know, the day after you'll do something else, you'll take her somewhere else, maybe the next, you know, and it's just like, it's constant, yeah? You're an exciting person to actually be in a relationship with, whilst also being able to be competent at life. You're able to solve problems. You're able to solve her problems so she doesn't have to worry, she can be secure with you, all right? Keep going to the gym, keep making sure you're looking after yourself so she knows you're a man also on his mission, okay? If a woman is the only priority in a man's life, she knows he's a little bit of a loser and she doesn't get as, you know, she's not excited about that. She's not kind of, you know, what's the word? You know, she's just not thrilled by that. She's not going to be constantly thinking about you all the time. If you're kind of like if a woman is the only priority in a man's life, that's how it is, okay? You have to make sure as a man, as a young man especially, that you've got your mission, okay? If you're a young man, because a lot of young men are basically like what I've just said, they'll get into a relationship and they'll be like spending all their time with their girl. They'll see him every single day. They'll never have anything else to do. You know, they don't spend time with their family no more. They don't spend time with their friends. They don't go to the gym no more. They don't do anything else. And that just shows that you're a man that doesn't have any purpose other than her, okay? Because then she knows if she walks away from you, you've now not got a life. And that's quite a sad thing. That makes you like a bit of a loser. And you don't want to be that guy, okay? Whilst you're in a relationship, make sure she doesn't walk all over you, okay? You stand your ground. You keep your self-respect as a man, okay? But you provide for her. You're a gentleman, okay? You are competent at life. You're able to solve problems. So she feels secure and safe with you, okay? But also, you spike in all of her emotions, okay? If you're a man that spikes your woman's emotions by so much, okay, she's not gonna want to cheat on you or leave you because there's gonna be no one else that can do that. You have to be a guy that is literally irreplaceable in that sense, okay? You don't have to have like £1 million. You don't have to be, you know, some millionaire who's got like a massive business or anything. You can literally be broke, okay? Like there's literally been times where I've been broke and still ended up in a situation with a girl, okay? And you know, obviously I've learned from those situations and I made mistakes with those girls, whatever, but you know, you learn and that's how life is. But this is why you actually see sometimes you'll see some like guy who you're like, how the hell is he with her? You know, he might be fat or he's, you know, not very good looking or whatever, you know, whatever it is, he's got something that you see in him and you're like, you think that you're better than this guy. You're like, I'm good looking, I'm in shape, but why has he got her? And this is the thing, because this guy probably understands women. He probably understands that he needs to be this way. He's probably got his own kind of shit going on. Yeah, maybe he's not in shape, whatever, but he's got all this shit to, you know, he excites her, he triggers her emotions, all right? You don't have to be a millionaire. You'll see some broke guy. There's so many guys that are just broke and have no money and they're still fucking girls like every week, all right? Different girls. Now, I'm not telling you that you have to be that type of guy. I'm not saying you have to be a guy who is sleeping with loads of women. But when I'm saying that when you're in a relationship with a woman, okay, this is about actually being able to navigate relationships. You have to be the guy that can provide, you're competent at life, you know what you're doing, you can make her feel secure, but you also have to be able to spike her emotions, okay? You have to be able to make her excited, someone that she can actually think about, okay? You have to have that side to you that she kind of was feeling. You have to give her that feeling that she was feeling before you kind of got together and you were attracting her and she, you know, you could allow her to chase you a little bit. She still wants to have that feeling. That's in a woman's nature. She still wants to feel that way about you, okay? And that's exactly the reality of it, bro. If you do that, you'll be fine, okay? You will be good at being in a relationship. You'll be good at keeping women, okay? Because remember, retaining women is very different to obtaining them, okay? So I hope that was helpful for you, bro. If you want an in-depth guide, okay, to actually mastering the art of attraction and seduction, being good with women, okay, drop me a DM, okay, stating that you want to go on a call with me, okay? Or you can actually use the link below to book a call. I know sometimes people have issue with that link. If it doesn't work, DM me on Instagram. Both links will be below. We'll go on a free call, okay? It doesn't cost you anything. We'll go on a call. We'll talk about what you want to achieve if it's to do with women, okay? We'll talk a little bit more in depth about your current situation. We'll come up with an exact plan to make sure you achieve whatever it is you want to achieve, okay? Whether it's be good with women, be better at talking to women, whatever it is, we'll make sure that you achieve that goal in a set period of time, okay? So DM me or book a free call with the link below, all right? Let's fucking get to it, boys. Hope that's helpful for you, boys, and I'll see you in a bit.